JC and Nat here. We're back. Back where?
Vietnam. Welcome to Liên Khương National Airport, Thailand, Vietnam. The local time is 20 minutes to 1 p.m.
Well, we're back in
Vietnam.
Vietnam, that's right. And it is really hot here, isn't it?
Yeah, hot.
Yeah. You can tell by us sitting here in coats. So we're back in Vietnam. Why are we back here? Well, we want to do some videos for our member site. We'll be doing some coming to YouTube. Not a lot, but we'll be doing some because I think Vietnam's a good option for people to retire to. And I want to update the member site to show people how to get the driver's license, the bank accounts, keep all those postings up to date, and other information regarding the details of living in Vietnam. And it's funny. On YouTube, people are saying, "Oh, you finally saw the light. Oh, the writing was on the wall and stuff." I need to clarify a few things. And then what we're going to do is, one of our members, Larry, had come back from a trip to the United States, back to Vietnam. And so I wanted to get his opinion about how he feels about the contrast, because I haven't been back in a long time, a contrast of what it was like going back to America and then in Vietnam. So that'll be coming up here in just a second. We might buzz over and see if I can, I keep saying on these videos on YouTube, Vietnam has a bright future because of the young people. Yeah. They speak English well, they're friendly, they're helpful, they're pleasant. And so Nat and I, we were actually getting the motorbike repaired not that long ago, and there was a real nice young guy trying to translate for us between us and the guy fixing the motorbike. Real nice guy. And he said he worked at the Palace or something and come visit, and we never did. We never followed up with him. So the day I was in Big C, and there was a coffee stand. I was looking at the coffee, and he was giving me some tastes of all this fresh brewed, fresh ground coffee. And that came up, and then he said, "You know, you look familiar to me." And I said, "Well, maybe you saw my videos on YouTube or something." He goes, "Yeah, I don't know." And then Nat looks at him and looks at me and goes,
We saw him before.
We saw him before. And then it's like, yeah, he does look familiar. And then it was like all of a sudden dawned on us, this was the guy helping translate at the motorcycle shop. And he's got a little coffee stand. I'm not sure if he's the owner or just a salesman or what, but a really nice guy. And he's got something he makes up that I want to turn everybody onto and show you why I think the future's bright for Vietnam because of the young people. because this guy's a great example of that. And we'll talk to him just a little bit so they can get an idea of the interaction between us foreigners and Vietnamese youngsters. So we'll do that, and then Larry's will come up. But first of all, I wanted to mention something real quick, and that is, no, the writing's not on the wall. No, we haven't moved to Vietnam permanently. I do want to get updates and get people up to speed, because I know some people are very frustrated. All these changes, the reporting, the bank, and the insurance, none of that affects me. I could stay there, no problem. None of it affects me. I'm not, not an issue. So the reason I made the immigration video, and I'm not sure, I'll try and remember to put a link in case people missed the one I did, and there's no comments for that, because I didn't want the negative trolls and all the bashing. They're gonna, the anti-immigration, read the comments and go, yeah, that's why we're trying to get rid of these people. Nah, just kidding. I just wanted the video was for immigration. That was the title, and that's what it was for. It wasn't for the comments. For if anybody else wants to watch it and they get value out of it, fine. Or if it says, yeah, that's the way I feel, that's the intention. I wanted them to understand from other people's, from foreigners' eyes, what it's like. The other thing I wanted to mention is use logic. When you're watching videos about Thailand, about Vietnam, or anything, think for yourself. Don't believe everything I say. Don't believe everything anybody else says. Use some logic. What fits for you and what you believe based on logic. Like one of the things, you know, people, I keep getting these reports, people send me saying, oh, somebody said something about you, said get a business visa for Vietnam and you're going to go to jail or something like that. And it's like, what? I have lots of members to get it. And nobody, this is the logical thing. Now, logic, okay? I know this is far-fetched using logic these days, but okay. To get a business visa 1 year, so you don't have to leave, no TM30 reporting for Vietnam, no income, no nothing, you just get a business visa. It says you're working for a company sponsors you. People say, well, if you're not working for the company, they're going to arrest you. Okay, logic. To get that business visa, you got to go either online or while you're here, and you got to get a letter from immigration online. And immigration gives you a pre-approval letter. In other words, the company you apply with, and you give the money for that, they send it to where? Vietnam Immigration. The application goes to Vietnam Immigration. The people you're saying are going to arrest you. They generate this letter, then you arrive in Vietnam, and what happens? They got to give you a business visa in your passport. Who? Vietnam Immigration. That's 2 times they could have called you out and said, no, we checked and you're not really working for this company. No. They're going to give you the thing. If they're not going to give it to you then. And now people are saying, oh, they're going to go send people out, immigration officers, to all these businesses of these thousands of people that are getting this, and go check their books, make sure somebody's working or not. No. Use logic. If somebody tells you that, fine. If they believe that, fine. But not for you yourself, no matter what I say or anybody else says, use logic. So anyway, we're going to go see if we can find this little guy and turn you on to that. I'll be giving you more videos coming at you from Vietnam, and enjoy the interview with Larry. It was only going to be for the member site, but after we did it, then I said, nah, I'm going to put this on YouTube as well. I think there's some great information from Larry. So enjoy that too. And until we see you again, this was JC and Matt out. Enjoy the rest of our video. Yeah. See ya.
Bye.
All right, so we're in Big C, and let's see if the guy's here. Oh, he's not here today. Well, let's see if she speaks English and where he is. I think his name's Vu, something like that. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Wow, you can speak English. That's very good. Yeah, I'm looking for Vu. What's the man's name who works here?
You.
You speak English? You speak English? No, you don't speak English. Is he outside? You don't know. Well, there you go. Just when I said the young people are great, they could speak English and everything.
You here too?
You speak English?
No.
No. Well, there you go. Anyway, this is the coffee shop. The guy's great. Speaks really good English. And they've got coffees and teas. And he makes something really special. We'll come back and get him to make it again. But as you can see, they got all sorts of mixed tea, Robusta, honey, Arabica, Robusta, Weasel, Mocha. They got everything. This one's a mixture, so this is really cool. You can get a mix of all of them. But he did something with cocoa that I'm not going to tell you about. We'll show you again next time. But anyway, they're having some kind of festival or something outside. He might be out there. I'm not sure if we're going to go out there and track him down or not. But she doesn't speak English, so there you go. Sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. Let's go see maybe outside if we can find him. Okay, so they're having some Vietnamese products. Some kind of show, festival, something like that. And somewhere he's in here, but I'm not sure if we're going to find him or not. But we'll look around for a little while. Maybe check out some products as well. So check it out. Cambodia and Thailand festival, Vietnam festival, some festival. Anyway, let's check it out. They got lots of products here. You got dried fruits, coffee, which he's got a coffee booth. Look at all the vegetables. Check these out now. Wow, look at that. Some yellow tomatoes. This is organics. He's got an organic booth. So we're going to peruse around, maybe give you a little video of some of the stuff here and see if we can find them. Wow, it's exciting, huh? Goi Thai, they call something Goi Thai. You want some Goi Thai? Yeah, he's got the papa. You want some? He's got paraด้วย. Look, he's gotปูpara. Guess what? I found him. Let's go talk to him.
Mình sẽ cảm nhận được chứ không phải là mình cảm thấy là mình xài nó 1 tuần, 2 tuần, 3 tuần, 1 tháng, 2 tháng, 3 tháng gì đó, phải dùng 30 phút sau mình thấy cho cái cơ thể của mình nó thứ nhất là mình cảm giác được là
hello. Hey. We went in and looked for you. You weren't there. The girl doesn't speak very good English.
Yeah.
I was asking her where you are. She just
Employer.
Huh?
Yeah.
She's your employer.
Yeah.
You work for her.
No, she's like me.
She's an employee. Yeah. Hello.
It's my partner.
Your partner. Is this your business? No.
No, my boss is not stay here. I'm just working for somebody.
Oh. Well, I was showing on the video that you speak such good English and you're so helpful. You helped us at the motorcycle shop as well. So I thought I would turn them on to people in YouTube to your coffee.
I feel very lucky when you can see, when you can stay here.
Yeah. There are a lot of people here, right? Yeah. And I told them in the Big C how good the coffee is, very good coffee. But what I want you to do is I want you to show them what you showed me, what you can do with the cocoa.
Cocoa?
Yeah, can you make that?
Yeah.
Like you made? Yeah, I want you to. Now he does this special thing with pure cocoa. Now, if you're on like a ketogenic diet, this probably wouldn't work because it's got some carbohydrates in it. But he's got this special little recipe he does that he turned me on to that I've never seen before. So, question, do you like chocolate? Do you like fudge? If you like chocolate or fudge, you're going to love this. I know it's noisy, you're probably having trouble hearing me. But he takes cocoa, and come here, if you're in Dalat, come here, buy the cocoa from him. He's got great cocoa. It's not expensive. Yeah. This is the cocoa he's got, and he's got bags of it. Pure, 100% no sugar or anything. The sugar comes when he's putting this little recipe together. So what he does is he takes a spoon of cocoa. Check this out. This is killer. Yeah, 2 little spoons. Takes a little bit of sweet milk, the sweetened condensed milk, like they put in the Cafe Suanong. And there you go, about 1-to-1 ratio there. And then he's going to take just a little bit of hot coffee. Yeah, any of the coffees, a little bit of hot coffee, and he's going to put just a dab of that inside this. Now, all you see now is 3 layers. Looks like a B-52 shooter. But now watch, he's going to take a little thing, he's going to stir it around, and watch what this turns into.
Just keep going.
Just keep stirring and stirring. Here, let's move out of the way so these guys can see the coffees and teas. And they got great teas too, an assortment of teas. But watch what's...
Many ways to make chocolates, but this one is the easy way, the best easy way.
Yeah. Now, if you like fudge, this is going to turn...
for 1 minute, it's going to chocolate like this.
Look at this. It's like fudge. It's amazing. I was like, nah, it's going to be really bitter. It's going to be hard to, you know.
Now we can enjoy it. It's very delicious.
Yeah. Oh, man. That one's enough. That's okay. So check this out. It's like fudge. Oh, man. Here. Nat, take this. No, take the whole cup. Here. You gotta see Nat. Nat's a chocolate lover. Oh man, is that good or what? Oh. So there you go. A little tip, a little secret. You got some 100% cocoa. You want to make your own fudge? It's killer. So there you go. And it's good to talk to him, good to see him. Hopefully he'll sell a lot of stuff here. But he's got killer coffee. Here's the coffee shop. That's the name of the coffee. Killer coffee. Great teas. So a really good assortment of teas. Artichoke teas. By the way, I'm not sponsored or anything by this company. I'm just turning you on to this. And such a nice guy.
Have you seen before?
No, what is this?
This is apple dry. Apple dry.
Dried apple? Apple?
Yes.
Really? Here, hold this. Wow, check this out. And these apples come from Vietnam.
City.
Huh?
From Dalat.
From Dalat. Wow. Check it out. Wow. They're dehydrated, but not too sweet. Wow, these are good.
It's natural, no chemical, no sugar, no milk. Just
No chemical, no sugar.
pure.
Very good. And how much is a bag of these?
Yes, this one is 135.
135?
This is the best quality.
That's less than 200 baht, something like that, huh? Wow, very cool. Well, there you go. Just wanted to turn you on. And I can't pronounce his name really good, so I'm going to have him pronounce his name. How do you say Phu?
Vũ.
Phu?
K Vũ.
K
K Vũ. K Vũ. A B C D E K.
K, yeah. But how do you say it?
K Vũ.
You actually say K Vu?
I think you just call me K.
Okay, there you go. Catch up with Kay in the lot. Go to Big C, he's got a little booth there he's hanging out at. And this is a festival, we'll maybe show you a little more of that. But catch out some of his coffee. Okay, we're back with Larry again. And if somebody hasn't seen the video I did with you on YouTube, then I'll put a link to it so they can see, because they might not say, who's Larry? Larry the cable guy, I don't know. But anyway, I do want to catch up with you. One, because you're back, we're back
right.
a lot, but so are you, because
right.
you traveled back home to where?
Seattle.
Seattle. And to get people up to speed a little bit before they have to go back and watch the other video, you are from the States and you moved to the Philippines, and you were there for how long?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. And then you, I guess, got interested in Vietnam a little bit.
Well, I did. I watched some of your videos, and Vietnam interested me. And where I lived in the Philippines, we had the earthquakes, we had the heat, we had the jeepneys, we had traffic, and it was just time for me to come and look and see Vietnam. And when I came to Dalat, I fell in love with Dalat.
Yeah, and some of the things you didn't avoid by coming here, which, I mean, we can replace the jeepneys with the horn honking
right.
here, and the traffic. Some of those things are, sort of pervasive in most of Southeast Asia, even though Thailand doesn't have the horn honking. There's still some congestion and things like that. But what I was interested in catching up with you about, and if somebody wants to go hear, the story, a little bit of the comparison between the Philippines and Vietnam,
right.
they can watch the other video, which is basically what we talked about. But today, seeing you just came back from the States, now
right.
I haven't been back to the States since my father passed, which I guess was 4 or 5 years ago now. And so I haven't been there for a while. But I wanted to get your reaction to having gone back home. First of all, how long had it been since you were back in Seattle?
Probably since February.
Okay, so you had been there recently.
Right, right.
Okay, but now that you're in Vietnam and you had been here for a few months,
right.
and you went back home, I would like to hear your opinion or comparison on a number of issues.
Okay.
One was the cost. Because now you're sort of used to the cost in the Philippines, you're used to the cost in Vietnam. And so when you went back, or when you go back to America, how do you adjust, or how much? I would be in shock.
It is shocking, and I'll give you a really good example. Drove through Burger King, and I wanted a hamburger because I don't eat that many hamburgers over here anymore. So I ordered a Whopper with cheese and French fries and a Coke. And it was, when I drove up to the window, she said, "That'll be $12.50, please." And I said,
"Oh my God."
I said, "Really?" I said, like I was from Mars. And I could not even believe it, because things have changed so much. I mean, and going with my daughter to fill her car up with gas, it was like $3.40 a gallon for gas. I go to get Chinese food for the family of just my daughter and her husband and 2 little kids. It's like $60 to go get just Chinese food, like 2 or 3 orders of stuff. So it's culturally a shock back to my system, because I'm not used to that anymore.
Yeah. Well, the $12.50, that was one meal at Burger King, right? Mm-hmm. And that was only for you?
Yeah.
How many meals on an average could you eat in Vietnam on $12.50?
Well, I'll give you an example.
How many dong is that? Do you know? Comparison?
I don't know. Right off the bat, I don't know. I'll give you a comparison for lunch today. I had a banh mi, where I go and buy my banh mi's.
Which is a sandwich.
And it was 12,000 VND, and which is about 50 cents, more or less. and then I bring it home and I make French fries at home, put them in the oven, bake some French fries. So, you know, when I'm eating like that, or if I want to add an egg to the sandwich or whatever, can do that very economically. And in the United States, again, we went with my daughter for breakfast, and it's like $10 or $12 just to have bacon and eggs and sausage. I can't comprehend it anymore.
It's a shock. It really is. And when people tell me about the rent, the cost of rent back home, in many places, you say Seattle, but we have a viewer that helps me out doing our live videos sometimes, our live weekly updates from Portland. And just studio apartments and stuff are running $1,200 and things like that. It's just, I don't see how people are doing it.
I know in West Seattle, a 2-bedroom type apartment over there is like $2,000 a month.
That's nuts. How do people do this?
I don't know. I don't know how they do it. And Seattle has an issue because a lot of the young people can't afford to live in Seattle any longer. They're having to move out of the city and commute because it's so expensive now.
It's crazy. That's nuts. So, well, so you're happy to be back, huh?
Yes, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be back in my home here, because once you start living here, this is your home. And I feel like even though I'm going back to the States, I don't feel at home. I feel like I've got to get back to my own place.
That's when I decided to move here originally, which has been now 18 years ago or something like that. It was when I was here on an extended trip. It was 2-3 months, and it was time to go back. And I was on the plane, sitting on the tarmac, getting ready to take off, and I feel like I'm leaving home, not going home.
Right.
I knew that was the time to make this my home. And we were talking about rent, just in comparison, because people probably haven't seen the other video I have, but just a reminder, how much you pay for your 1-bedroom apartment?
It's $300 a month, but that's with all bills paid, including the internet and water, all of it. And it's really a 2-bedroom, but I made one of the bedrooms a living room, dining room. But it's 2 baths, so I'm fortunate to have that.
Yeah, that's exactly what we have. 2 baths, 1 bedroom, 1 sort of living room, kitchen area, and a couple balconies, and we're paying $8 million, and that's $320, $340. I'll put it on the video when I do this. But something about the same.
Well, like you said, you have a really good landlord, and I have a really good landlord, and it makes a big difference to have a really good landlord here, and that's one of the things I can tell your viewers. If you're going to come here, you need to find hopefully a good landlord, because it's important. And I think you're fortunate to have found your place, because a lot of people are still coming into Vietnam and looking for places now.
Yeah, our landlord's phenomenal. You know, her husband, they got a couple little kids. They're just great.
Right.
She's always helping, and you know, if I have questions, she helps out. If there's any issue, I mean, he's always upgrading there. Just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So we're real happy about that. The other thing I wanted to ask you about real quick was, again, I haven't been back for a long time, but from what I see from the outside looking into the States, the thing about the cultural differences. Here we can talk to strangers that we don't know. You can, you know, converse with younger kids or whatever without being considered some pedophile or something, and 911 being dialed. It's you know, I laugh and joke with complete strangers.
Right.
And so how is it when you go back? I would be, personally, I'd be fearful of a number of things. One is talking to strangers, because it's not socially acceptable. How it would be interpreted, doing that. And also, do you drive when you go back home?
Yes. Yeah, I take one of my daughter's cars and drive.
And that would be the other thing I'd be worried about, because laws and everything are changed. They say laws changing so much in immigration laws in Thailand, but I see stuff on YouTube that just scares me. That the police, the power of the police to change your life in an instant, scares me.
Yeah, and you know, all of the politics that go on in the United States, and I've learned living here, I've learned a lot of patience, and have learned not to get angry, not to get mad. If something annoys me, then just keep on going, let it annoy you. But I don't have an issue with the people. The people are kind and they're nice and they're outgoing here. Back home, my daughter and son-in-law live in a smaller town outside. They live in Burien, which kind of overlooks Puget Sound there. So it's a little bit more relaxed there, and people walking and outdoors. You can say good morning, hello, and things like that. But it's still culturally different what we've grown up with and known all of our lives. This is coming back here, and I did something on Facebook. Coming back here is like when I grew up in the 50s and 60s, and kids could still be kids, and they could go outside and they can play in their front yards. And at home now, you don't hardly see kids out in their front yards ever playing back in the States. And now here, you see kids walking in the water puddles and walking home from school by themselves or coming home from lunch by themselves, and really a safe environment here. Really do feel that.
And it's very social.
It is social, and once you meet the right people and you become friends with them here, they're very outgoing, invite you to dinners and lunches and everything else, and that's what I enjoy. To me, it's an easier, adjusted, relaxed way of life.
Yeah. It's interesting to me, sometimes when we're in Thailand, and even here, Nat and I will try and find some place to shoot a video, because people complain, it's always noisy. And I said, but that's the way it is. We'll start out someplace where it's fairly quiet, and all of a sudden it'll get noisy. People will show up, and it becomes a social event. And then it gets noisy, and that's just the way it is here. And the funny thing about that is, I saw somebody doing a YouTube video from Japan, and he was walking around in a neighborhood with the camera just talking. And the whole time he walked around in Japan, there wasn't nobody passed him in a car, or nobody was out. And this was a residential neighborhood. Right. Everybody was isolated, like back in the States, where nobody leaves their house really and socializes with neighbors. Now, in the South, when you're talking about Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, places like that, they do still socialize. It's still like that. Up in the Pacific Northwest to some degree, in those smaller towns, they do. In Colorado, they do. But a lot of places that are very urban, they're afraid to speak to strangers. And it's sort of that way in Bangkok as well. But it was sort of shocking to me to see here, because to me Asia is very social, but I was looking at Japan, and they're again, it's like America. They didn't go out.
That's true. That's true, JC. But again, the cultural differences are a lot. Once you get to be living here, and once you get adjusted to this lifestyle, everything else seems way out of whack.
Yeah, people don't realize how adaptable human beings are to diet, to exercise, to their surroundings. Whether it's heat or cool. The first time I saw one of our members come to Thailand, one of our first members that moved over, literally sweat was dripping off of his earlobes. He was so hot in Thailand, and he adjusted. And so when it comes to the social things, like the noise now, the horns, when I first came here, every video I was saying, this horn honking. Now it's sort of just an afterthought. It's background noise,
Yeah, it is, and you kind of get used to it, and I've gotten used to it, really. I think you mentioned some of your videos, why all the people around you, every time you do a video, they're talking loud. I think they're talking loud because of all the horns. Over all the years they've been listening to the horns.
Yeah, they are. Vietnamese, I notice, are like a little bit like Chinese, where when they're conversing, they're a little bit louder.
Well, I think the tonal language, that they'll raise their voice on certain tonal things, like I used to think Chinese were fighting with each other, but they're just talking to each other with the tone.
Yeah, but Thai's tonal too, but they stay very reserved and low key. So that's one of the differences I've noticed. And when you keep everything in perspective, the horn honking in Vietnam is loud, but I've noticed less. We noticed when we were coming up here to do the video, the motorbikes with the loud mufflers here, there's a lot less of them here. Now what's taking the place of the horns in Thailand are the loud motorbikes. It's popular to be really loud with these
the bigger
little
bike,
tiny
little bikes.
Yeah, and I say, no matter how loud the kitten roars, it's still a kitten. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's true.
It's these little motorbikes, they just try and make them loud for the testosterone effect. But anyway, so you're happy to be back, huh?
Happy to be back. I couldn't wait to be back, because I had a cold while I was in Seattle, because it was wet, damp, in the mid-30s to 40s during the day. Seattle winters. And of course it's getting cooler here now, because we're having our winter here, and think you said it was going to be in the lower 50s at night here.
On Tuesday.
Yeah, so it's getting cooler.
It's nice. It's very pleasant.
Like I said, you're going to have to get Nat a heater.
Yes, I will, because she's already cool. You know, I say I don't like doing it's hard to get motivated to do work in Thailand sometimes just because the heat is oppressive. And
I have more energy here.
Yeah, I do too. But Nat, she wants to slide under that blanket where it's toasty, and so the opposite effect for her. But it's good to have you back. And
thank you, JC.
Thank you just for sitting down with me and
no,
and touching base.
It's my pleasure, and it is though. I do feel this is my home now, and I did mention to you I went back and I've sold my condominium in Dallas, so I've sold it. I don't have those commitments there anymore, so. Slowly but surely getting rid of all my commitments there so I can always be full-time here.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about your golf clubs anymore.
No.
Because they have a new home.
I brought them back, and I send pictures. You know, we've got the country club here to play, and then there's another private course that's about 20 minutes from here up in the mountains, and it's beautiful.
You going to give me some lessons?
I'm going to get you out there so you can see it because it's absolutely gorgeous.
I need some golf lessons.
Yeah, and so we can do that, and but there's just I don't participate in all the tourist things because I have my own set of agenda of everything I do every day in my own home life. So
yeah, and this time Nat and I are going to be here for a long, extended period of time, more than usual. We're usually only here for 3 weeks or about that time. So we're going to be here longer this time, and the funny thing is, we're sort of settling in.
Yes.
And now we're eating in the house and things like that, where before we were basically living as a tourist.
Yeah, well, I got back from Seattle, and I went to the market yesterday, and I stocked up on, I went to the Condotel Mart. I stocked up on all my salmon and meats and vegetables and all of that. I think I spent like about $63, but I have enough food now to last me almost through the month. For spending $63, I thought it was going to be $100-something. The girl said 60, you know, the equivalent of $63. I couldn't believe it because I bought, you know, salmon steaks. I bought pork roast. I bought all kinds of things, meats.
Yeah, and I tell people if they're going to think about living in Thailand or Vietnam or any place, is to come over for an extended period of time and actually ask yourself, are you going to eat out every meal? Are you going to cook at home or whatever? And figure out what that budget would cost you and as a normal lifestyle, not as a tourist, because you know, you're going to go do things and eat places that you normally wouldn't if you were on a fixed budget, and see how much it would cost at that comfort level. What do you feel you're at your comfort level eating salmon and would you say pork steaks?
Yeah, it's like
what are you spending, including rent? Now you don't drive a motorbike.
No, I go on.
That's for the not for the faint of heart.
Have a driver or Grab.
You have a driver or a Grab.
Yeah.
And so, have you figured out about?
Probably, I maybe spend about $80-90 a month on transportation.
I mean on everything.
On everything,
What's
I think
your budget?
my budget's around $800 a month, really.
That's incredible.
It is incredible, and
that's incredible because, again, we've talked about this about people on YouTube that just want to. Everybody's wrong, they're right. You can't live for but that's just amazing. I'm not even going to say anything more than that.
If I didn't really get out and travel and do a lot of the traveling I do, then I could probably put money in savings from my Social Security. That's how reasonable it is to live here, and to me, I have to pinch myself to say, is it really this less expensive? And it is. It's at least a third or less than a third of what it would cost to live in the United States.
But people are going to say for $800, you're living in a gutter. You're eating junk food, and you have no life. For $800, you're living like a poor Vietnamese. You can't live off that money.
Well, I like tonight. My dinner I'm cooking is a stir fry with vegetables, chicken breast. And I think the stir fry cost me the chicken breast about 30,000 VND, and the other vegetables about 20. So about 50,000, which is a little over $2. Go home and fix dinner tonight, and I can't do it any less. I mean, and I have really good quality food.
Well, as a member, I was going to actually just include this in one of our weekly updates to let some of our members get caught up on this comparison stuff. But I think this is so useful information. So I'll probably edit this into a YouTube video and let people, because I think all of this is really important for people to understand the comparisons.
Really, it's incredible. And like we talked before, all the vegetables and fresh fruits, and I think when really avocados are really in season here, I think they were like about 30 cents per pound, 30 U.S. cents per pound. You know, and where are you going to go buy avocados? They're expensive in the United States.
Yeah, some things we can get in Thailand we can't get here, and vice versa. I noticed here I can buy escarole. I can make an Italian dish with escarole. I found Swiss chard, where I make a lentil soup with Swiss. So those things aren't even available in Thailand. And they are here, and like you said, the bread, the roll of bread is so cheap here. It's just amazing. Well, you can make 3 sandwiches, footlongs, out of a roll of bread, and it's, how much did we figure that in baht? It was like, it's like 5 baht. That's like 15 cents.
Yeah, when the croissants I buy, I mean the baguettes, they're like 2,000 each. I'll buy 5. It's 10,000 VND, which is just nothing, and I eat off those during the week. So. And I don't even cook rice because I'm gaining weight, so I don't even eat the rice hardly anymore. But you know, if you really wanted to just live cheap, you really could. I mean, I cook spaghetti and pastas and things like that, and I enjoy cooking. I enjoy it at home, and I think my food's maybe better than what I get eating out.
Well, I know it is the way we are because, you know, we cook the food. The quality is the way we want it. The tastes are the way we want it. The portions are the way we want it. And yeah, it works best.
And I wash all my vegetables, and I use like half water, half vinegar, and washing them, make sure they're really clean. And then, like a lot of things, then I'll peel. And so I have a sensitive stomach, so if something hits you, the wrong germ or whatever, you don't want that. So I'm careful about that. And but again, we'll have to go out and eat some Indian food.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. Well,
thank you, JC.
And there you go. I hope you've appreciated it and got some value out of this. And for JC and Larry, see ya. Hey, JC here. If you like that video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel here. Also, we have another video up here you're going to be really interested in watching as well. And if you're looking for all the details of how to retire in Thailand in one place, plus a group of people to support you, check this out over here. Give it a click.